Hello students, I am Vinita Arya ma'am of KV Dogra Lines, Resources and Development Geography, Lesson 1, Class 10th, First Part. These are the contents: resources, types of resources, developed resources, sustainable resources, development of resources, and Agenda 21. First of all, I would like to tell you what is resources. Resource means anything which satisfied our need is called resource. It should be technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. Only then it can be termed as resource. For example, minerals, forest, fossil fuels, etc. Now, types of resources: man-made resources and natural resources. Now, here are we classify resources on different type on different bases. First of all, on the basis of origin. On the basis of origin, it can be said biotic and abiotic. On the basis of exhaustibility, they can be called renewable and non-renewable resources. On the basis of ownership, they can be termed as individual, community-owned, national, or international resources. On the basis of status of development, they can be said potential, developed stock, and reserves. On the basis of origin. On the basis of origin, the resources can be called as biotic resource. As we all know, bio means life. So these resources are obtained from biosphere and have life, such as human being, flora and fauna, fisheries, livestock, etc. All those things which are composed of non-living things means they don't have life. They comes in the category of abiotic resources, for example, rocks and metals. Now, on the basis of exhaustibility, means they are not forever. First is renewable resource, which can be renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical, or mechanical processes. And some are non-renewable, which can be exhausted after its use, like mineral and fossil fuel are example of such resources, because these resources take millions of years in their formation. So we can call them non-renewable resource also. Now, on the basis of ownership. So on the basis of ownership, we categorize them in as individual, community-owned, national resources, and international resources. So first, let's talk about individual resources. It means it is owned by private or individual, like land, houses, plantation, ponds, etc. Community-owned means that resources which are accessible to all the members of the community, like village commons, public parks, etc. National resources. Technically, all the resources belongs to the nation. The country has legal power to acquire even private property for public good. Now, international resources. As we all know, that resources beyond our reach means the oceanic resources beyond 200 kilometers of the exclusive economic zone belongs to open ocean, and no individual country can utilize these without the concern of international institution. Now, on the basis of status of development, we can categorize resources as potential resource, stock, reserve, or developed resources. So let's talk about potential resource. Resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized. Means we know these resources are found in a particular region, but we are not using them abundantly. Stock. Resources available but do not have appropriate technology to access, Like we know the lack of technical know how to use hydrogen and oxygen as source of energy. Now reserve, subset of stock, means it can be used for future need with the help of existing technology. We know about its quantity and how to use it, but their use has not been started now. Developed resources, resources which are surveyed and their quality and quantity have been determined for utilization. Now sustainable development, as we all know that if we will not judiciously use the resources, they will vanish after some time. So for sustainable development, we have to use the resources without damaging the environment. So it means the judicious use of resources, that development should take place without damaging the environment, and development in the present compromise with the need of future generation. Now development of resources. It is for our well-being as well as for the quality of life. So it was believed that resources are free gifts of nature. Human beings use them indiscriminately, and this has led to the following major problem: depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of few individuals, accumulation of resources in few hands. Indiscriminate exploitation of resources has led to global ecological crises such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. Now let's talk about the Agenda 21 and Earth Summit. Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit. It is in Brazil. In June 1992, more than 100 heads of state met in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, for the first International Earth Summit. It was held for addressing urgent problem of environmental protection and socio-economic development at the global level. This convention adopted Agenda 21 for achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. So, what are the aims of Agenda 21? To achieve global sustainable development, some aims are written here. It aimed at achieving global sustainable development. The agenda was to combat environmental damage, poverty, and disease. It can be achieved through global cooperation or common interest, mutual needs, and shared development. Thank you.